Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026. We are out at the Nancy Pond Trail. And it was supposed to be warm, quite warm today. And then tomorrow, even warmer in the mid 80s and possibility of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. So we were a little surprised that it's been raining all morning. We are doing an overnight and we're getting started later than we had planned just because it was pretty heavy rain. Like started at around 8 o'clock in Twin Mountain, and it's lightly raining here. It's kind of off and on right now. I think it's about 10 o'clock and it should be out of here by 10:15, I think. So we're gonna head up and go to Norcross Pond. There's a camping area on the right-hand side where people bushwhack into Mount Nancy. There's like a large open area away from the pond, and we're going to set up our camp there. And then we're going to bushwhack up to Mounts Anderson and Lowell, and depending on what time it is and how we feel, we will also hit Duck Pond Peak, which is a New Hampshire 500. Those other two, Anderson and Lowell, are on the New Hampshire 100 highest. Then we'll come back and camp, and tomorrow morning we'll just walk out. But I hear that these are some of the more gnarly bushwhacks, so we'll see how it goes. And now everything's wet, so that's great. All right, we are off. There's going to be some water crossings that are probably going to be a little bit tricky, and we're also going to hit Nancy Cascade at 2.4 miles. So I'm looking forward to that. Trees are leafing out. Here comes some more sun. Let's go get it. We're about 1.5 miles in now, and we have been walking on an area that's like an old road, and there's been plenty of evidence of like a telegraph line. There was a mill out here, and about another 3/10 we're going to come past the site of the Lucy Mill. And also there was a fire tower on Mount Bemis. We're not quite to the junction. That's an abandoned trail, but maybe the line went up to their fire tower. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's humid. It's 64 degrees right now, and the sun went away, so we'll see what happens rain-wise. Got some water crossings coming up too. This is the first major water crossing. Trail was over there, and it was almost hoppable. I think John could have done it pretty easily. From that big rock to the one in front of it is kind of a big jump. So we actually came through over here and just came through. It was pretty simple rock hopping. You're gonna want poles. There's a old piece of glass that's quite thick. And it definitely doesn't look modern. And how far am I right now? 1.6. So we're pretty close to the site of the old mill. I remember there being some big metal pieces of, I guess, equipment from the sawmill out here. But there's also was a lot of damage to this from Hurricane Irene, and there were some reroutes done. Wow, look at that. It's a little bit of erosion right here, huh?
At least you got these big rocks to walk
So
on.
this is the trail from Mount Bemis right here. Let me pop up out of here.
This looks very different in the winter.
And it did look extremely different in the winter. Let's see. Come up. Right there is the trail corridor for the Bemis Trail. And then we got yellow blazing, heading uphill to the Nancy Cascades, which are less than 1 mile away. Okay, this is some of the leftovers from the Lucy Mill. And then there's another big chunk up here. I believe that this was set up in around 1940 or so, after the big hurricane in 1938, to deal with a lot of blowdowns I could be wrong. I think that's what this is, though. There's a barrel back there. I don't know what this building was. The water is kind of steeply downhill from here. There's a pipe. Okay, Lucy Mill. We are at a water crossing right before Nancy Cascades. So John just hopped down there. I came through right here. And if we turn around and look up, there's Nancy Cascades. So let's go check it out. This is the bottom drop of the Cascade with an awesome pool. We've actually gone swimming here on an extremely hot day. It's 62 degrees out right now. I'm hot, but I don't need to go swimming. Maybe tomorrow on the way out. But there are some more Cascades further up. The trail goes up along the left side here. And we'll have some looks out, but I think they're not like really close to the top part. I think we might have like a glimpse out, but this is like the real pretty part right here. This is the area right above that first drop. So the trail leaves away and then it comes back, and we have a little viewpoint right here, right at the trail. And right here is the top of that bottom Cascade. We are walking along the edge of Nancy Pond now. I think I'll have a spot where I can get a little closer and get a view out. Okay, the light's not very good here, but this is kind of near the outlet of Nancy Pond. There's a big beaver lodge right there. I just saw a really quite large garter snake. None of these little tiny ones we've been seeing. That guy was at least a year old. Okay. I think we're still inside the Nancy Pond natural resource area or whatever it is. No camping is allowed there, but we should be hitting the wilderness boundary shortly. And then Norcross Pond, which is almost double the size of Nancy Pond. I can see that people camp in here though, but not supposed to do that. That's what I just said, yeah. Yep. All right, it's getting overcast again. Maybe it'll rain, we'll see. We're gonna go set up our campsite first and then probably have lunch and then do our bushwhack. And hopefully be back for dinner. Lots of bog bridges on Nancy Pond Trail. We are coming out to Norcross Pond, and this is the first snow we've seen. It's pretty supportive, which is good. Ooh, I said that and then I post-holed right through it. Okay. This is a little side path down to Norcross Pond. With a view towards Bond and Gio at the end. I will take a zoomed in video in a second. We're actually going to go down to that end anyway. We'll have a better look. This is Anderson right here. How hard could that be? Haha. Wow, big beaver lodge right there. And another beaver lodge over here. Okay, this is Norcross Pond. It's 7 acres surface area. Nancy Pond is 4 acres, so it's almost double. We are right down near the outlet to Norcross Pond, which is right through there. This is Mount Anderson right here. There's a campsite with a fire pit right there. But this is the trail right here. And back here, this is the way that people go into Mount Nancy. We can easily get 200 feet off the official trail and camp in here. Because there's definitely a spot. All right. This is it. Looks good. We are up at the outlet now to Norcross Pond, looking at Geo right in the center. And then this is the Twins back here. And the edge of Franconia Ridge is right behind Bond Cliff. And then, I think, yeah, that's Flume. I'll shoot with my phone to zoom in a little bit more. So the water is coming right here. And then it's just going right down. And then this is Norcross Pond. Okay, we're gonna have lunch here. I hear there's a view ledge on Anderson. We were hoping to have lunch there, but because of the rain this morning, we got off so late. So we're gonna have lunch here, and we're gonna split a beer up on Anderson. And the bugs are non-existent right now. It's windy right here, but we just set up our tent in the woods. No bugs, so that's good. And no rain. Okay, this is a little closer in now. Pretty nice. We've decided we're gonna eat our lunch facing this way because the wind is coming right down that pond, just whipping right in our faces. So we're gonna look this direction. It's 2 o'clock right now, and we are back on Nancy Pond Trail between Norcross and Nancy Ponds. So this is where we're gonna start our bushwhack to Anderson. And it looks like there's actually a little bit of a herd path right here, but from what I've heard from people, it just disappears. So we're not gonna be able to necessarily follow it. Well, I can see it right here pretty well.
Let's go to the pond.
Looks like it ends right here.
Huh.
Maybe it's a bathroom break. It might just go to the pond. I don't really wanna, I wanna stay away. It might go to the pond. I could go through right there. Because there's a little pond right here.
The closer you get to that.
Yeah, I don't really want to be near that. Although it might turn here. Let me see. If I go here. I don't know. Anyway, Anderson is straight ahead that way. We're gonna try to hit it on the left side and go up a ridge, so that if you look at slope angle, you'll see why. It's very steep on the side that faces Norcross Pond. We don't want to go up that. We are on the bushwhack to Anderson now. Whew, the first few tents, actually I have no idea how long it's been, have been really hellacious. And I've seen worse, but they were slow going through like pencil woods. We just popped out here and I'm liking this better. We'll see how long it lasts. All right. Things have gotten appreciably better. We'll see if they stay. Yep. This is like very mossy, not boggy though. We are still climbing Anderson. This is looking at Nancy. And there's a couple slides over here, kind of sandy looking slides. Norcross Pond. North Bald Face is behind stairs right there. And then the double heads, sorry, are right there. Okay. We're up sort of on the ridge now, and the going has been better, definitely better than it was down low. I think
this has a weird contour, so you're
I know.
circling around
We're
a little
kind of
bit.
circling around a little. Yep. I think that most people hit thick woods up near the ridge. So we've gone through a couple areas of that like thin pokey stuff. So hopefully we won't be hitting too much more thick stuff, but this is pretty good going up here. This is the summit canister. And I would say we had pretty decent woods for maybe half of that whack. And it just felt like less than that because it went so fast compared to the other. The rest of it was not great, but not the worst. We didn't have to crawl or anything. Through the trees here is Kerrigan, and there's supposed to be a southwesterly view, and we're going to be heading that direction anyway, so hopefully we will see it. But as you can see, maybe it's it's not like wide open woods up here, but it's not too bad. There were some herd paths in this open stuff, and we saw a couple piles of moose droppings, so maybe we'll get lucky and we'll be able to follow a moose down to the call. Let's go find out. We're looking for our view ledge. We didn't really find it, but I have a view currently right here. So this is past Conaway out here. This is Mount Lowell, and then the Tri-Pyramids, Sandwich Mountain, an interesting view of Kerrigan, Vos Spur, and then coming around to Whaleback and Franconia Ridge. And over here are the Bonds and the Twins and Zealand. Okay, this is not the way. Hopefully we'll encounter the view spur, the view ledge. But if we don't, at least we had this view. This is looking back at Bemis, and we just had the call as like a bog. We came across this down tree and got our feet wet. I just didn't want to walk through the water because it could be, you could go in up to your hip. You just don't know. So got across, our feet are wet, but it's quite warm out. Not an issue. And now we get to climb up. Hopefully the woods aren't going to be horrible, but I'm kind of expecting them to be horrible. Holy cow, we made it. Coming down off of Anderson, the woods were pretty good. I mean, they were a little bit thick. The call was wet. And then leaving the call was okay woods. And then it got thick. Got really thick. And then right before we got up here, we were kind of at the same elevation for a while, and it was like kind of like Krumholtz. So I got to a spot that had a nice view out to Kerrigan, although the light is not good right now. Kerrigan and Vos Spur, but I'm not going to go back that way, so I don't know if we'll have any more views. There was pretty expansive views all the way around, but I was in the middle of bushwhacking hell, so I didn't stop to take a picture. And last check-in is, once again, Carl Gifford from March. And then prior, okay, so Jason Rossman did not check in at the other, actually, and neither did the September 8th. Oh, maybe they did. Yeah, Lauren was before Carl and the other one. Oh, okay, so we're not going to go back the way we came. I have to sign it and everything. All right. Wow. It's a hot day now, I'll tell you that. Okay, we're going to work our way down towards, there's like a little pond thing. We're going to kind of head towards that. Okay. We are partway down Mount Lowell now. This is by far the best bushwhacking we've had. It's just been really, really tight and pokey. Hopefully we're out of the worst of it now. That's an unnamed pond. Not sure. Doesn't have anything on Gaia. Pretty neat. We're working our way around it right now. This is Mount Lowell back there. I think. Oh, actually, that might be Anderson. I think so.
I think Anderson is back this way.
You do? Okay, so that's Lowell. And through the very end, there's a little view of something. I'm not sure what, and I'm also not sure what kind of tree this is right here. I'll have to take a better picture of it. It's got these neat little, it won't focus. Okay, we're getting there. This was, it was rough. We are back on Nancy Pond Trail, and that took 6 hours of bushwhacking, which is kind of what I thought it would be. It was about 3.5 miles of bushwhacking, I think. And it was hard. We're getting the sunset right now. Let's come take a look out here. Oh. All right. This is Mount Nancy right there. We will be back to our campsite pretty quickly. It's only like 3 or 4/10 of a mile from here. And then it's all set up, so we'll just have our dinner right where we had our lunch. And tomorrow, I think we'll hit Duck Pond Peak on the way out. That's looking over at Anderson. Okay, successful day. We are back at Norcross Pond. The sun is setting I guess that's behind Geo. Pretty cool. All the peepers are out now. Okay. Beautiful. It looks better in real life than on the camera. Oh well. All right, we're back at our lunch spot. We're gonna have dinner here. So this is Norcross Pond. Not windy anymore. And then looking over at the Bonds and the Twins and a little bit of Franconia Ridge. Beautiful, successful. I think I'll sleep good tonight, and we will check in the morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday, May 19th, and we had an uneventful night on the old, or not old, I don't even know if it was ever an official trail, but there's Nancy Pond Trail is down here, and we're at a hardened off site on the unofficial trail that goes up to Mount Nancy. There's definitely a place where people camp. There's no fire pit or anything. There is a hardened site right at the water down there, but it's like right on a trail. Totally an illegal spot. It is a hardened spot though, so Leave No Trace says use hardened spots, but it just seems not ideal. So we're in here and we are having our breakfast. We got breakfast of hiking champions here. Tang, coffee, and Andrew Skirka's recipe for oatmeal. So it's got chia seeds and coconut and almonds. I've got protein powder, quick oats. What else? Some sugar, some salt, some cinnamon, raisins. Can't remember. That might be it. All right. So we've decided we're going to go for Duck Pond Peak today. But instead of going in, some of the, you don't see a lot of trail reports for that. So some of the reports I've seen, people tagged it on to the end of doing Anderson and Lowell. So they went out to Duck Pond Peak and then came back and exited at the same place where they entered the bushwhack. between Nancy Pond and Norcross Pond. I did find one where they went in from the trail further, I should say, closer to the car. So on the east side of Nancy Pond, and I think we're going to try that. And it should be 0.4 of a mile each way. So, and I think the woods will be better than they were yesterday, although the beginning might be a little bit of a problem. Okay, and yeah, the temperature in low temperature yesterday, including overnight, was 55, and I think that might have been during the morning yesterday before when we were setting off. Maybe it was at night. I don't know. We were very comfortable last night. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna clean up and get moving. And I got up at 5, I think. I checked my watch at 4:45. And then I think at 5:15 I kind of got up. I was kind of up off and on. It gets light quite early. I had an eye mask, but John didn't, so I felt like I should be in solidarity. So I didn't wear an eye mask. And then when I woke up, I looked over and you had your head like completely under your cover. Mm-hmm. So whatever. Yeah, you were in the dark. Okay. In any case, I always get up early anyway. The birds were chirping. It sounds a little windier today too, but it's warm. It's nice. All right, we just have broken camp, and if you were going to go out to do Mount Nancy, you would follow this trail. And I was like, what's up this? So I walked up here, and I measured on Gaia. I think our campsite was 100 feet off trail. You come up here, there's a spot right here, so like 150 feet off trail, where you could put one tent. But then keep going, and you can see this is like a trail. You go up around the corner, and there's a nice big flat campsite with a rock that overhangs and people have had fires at. Right here, there's a fire pit right up against this rock. Lots of evidence of past fires. And whether you're 200 feet off trail, technically, you're probably not, because the Nancy Pond Trail's right there. You can see the pond right through the trees. But yeah, this is nice. I wonder if there's anything up there. All right, plenty of camping out here at the end of Norcross. Sorry, did I say Nancy Pond? Norcross Pond. Looks like this was an old logging road or something. A skidder. Okay, we're gonna head off now. Head back down past Nancy Pond and then into the woods for our bushwhack. We are down now. Nancy Pond is right behind us. And we're gonna cut in here. Looks like it's kind of open. It's about 0.4 of a mile from here. I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, we're heading for that red dot and we're the orange. So it should be about 0.4 as the crow flies. And I found one trail report that went in from here, and it said it was not great for the first 10th, and then it opened up. So let's hope, because yesterday it never really opened up. It opened up in a couple places. Going up Anderson was definitely the best by
Still
far.
not long enough.
But, oh, man. Yeah. But it's going to be way shorter than yesterday, so we can suffer. We're carrying full packs, though, but that's okay. Off we go to Duck Pond Peak. Duck Pond Mountain? Mountain. It's like 200 feet of gain, right?
Yep.
Okay. It's more like a little lump. We'll go check it out. Okay, so the area around the pond was thick. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't particularly wet. We had to go down and up to get across the drainage for Nancy Pond, the outlet, and that was pretty easily done. Now the woods are much better than we saw yesterday. So I wouldn't say this is like a bushwhacker's dream or anything, but ooh, it's getting there now. That's good. Yes, this is way better. Okay, Duck Pond has its sign and everything. It's on AMC 3,000 footer, and it has a book that was placed in February 2nd of 2028. No, 2008. 2008. We're not even, okay. I'm a little tired. Yeah, and that person wrote like a 3-page check-in about how there was a bootleg trail that had been cut coming up here, and you could still see signs of the blazes on trees if you look carefully. I have no idea where they came in from or anything. I didn't see anything like that. There's no way. I mean, that was 20 years ago almost, so who knows. But all right, a couple check-ins from this year already. And yeah, that was way, way better for us than yesterday. It's funny because one of the check-ins I read, they went up to Anderson and Lowell first and then came over here, and they said that they got lucky with their lines on Anderson and Lowell, and then coming here was the most terrible thing. And for us, it was way better. Way better. Okay, I'm gonna put my glasses back on, eye protection, and head out. We're gonna go back the way we came because it was pretty darn good, and you have to get across the outlet anyway to Nancy Pond, so at least we know where we did it. It was not a big deal particularly, so we're gonna go do that and then head on out. So the next stop for us will be Nancy Cascades on the way out. So I think that's Duck Pond Mountain right there through the trees, and we came down basically the way that we went up, except at the end we split off and came down further away from the pond. And I would say, you can see this is a bog right here. I'm standing on a bog bridge. We didn't have to cross the river. It was just one little, like I don't know what it was, like 2.5 feet wide. You probably could jump it. I walked on a dead tree, but there was no like steep up and down. Right behind us is the trail, and it climbs pretty steeply here, so you end up going down and then up where the water is, the closer you are to the pond. Would I recommend like setting off into this bog? I would never. I don't think I would never think to do that. And maybe if you come down here a little bit further, you would have gotten out of that. I don't know. But yeah, that was good. Duck Pond Mountain. Okay. Back on trail, and we are back at the outlook partway up the Nancy Cascades. I think the light is better today than it was yesterday. It's still flowing nicely. And the last drop, I think, starts right there. That's the one you can see from the pool. Also, in this area, you get views out to Stairs and Resolution through the trees. I think maybe from the bottom of the Cascades as well. It's a little bit hazier than it was yesterday because the humidity is definitely higher. Yeah, so let's go take a look from down there. All right, back at Nancy Cascades, looking beautiful. Blue skies. That cloud is moving pretty fast. And then behind us, out there is Stairs and Resolution. Okay. Excellent. Back to the car. We are now inside the FPA. So I'm going to end up a little over 13 miles. I think John's going to end up a little bit under 13 miles. And yeah, I don't think I'll be doing Lowell or probably Anderson again, unless we get a little bit of amnesia and decide we want to go out and do them in the winter or something stupid like that. I don't know. The camping was awesome. Plenty of spots up there. And we didn't do Mount Nancy this time, but I would totally do Mount Nancy again. I thought that was really fun. Had a view also. And we didn't do Bemis this time, and I don't know that I would go all the way to the official summit of Bemis or even to the fire tower, but there is an awesome view ledge on Bemis. I would totally do that again. Yeah, and Duck Pond was fine going in the way we went in, and even better coming out the way we came out. Some people had good lines going. I can't believe it. Someone signed in on the Duck Pond one that they had a good line going to Anderson and Lowell, had good whacking, and then they had terrible whacking coming from Lowell over to Duck Pond. So, I don't know, I'm happy with what we did. And that's great. It was a great day. It's so humid right now. It's supposed to thunder this afternoon. I think it will. I just got mile 13. And it's like 84 degrees. So, yikes. Ready to be off. We just saw 2 day hikers. I think they're going up to the falls. But other than that, it was a quiet time.